Under the sprawling branches of an old sycamore tree, Rusty lay still, his chestnut fur matted with blood. My 9-year-old daughter, Lily, wailed for her diabetes alert dog, her glucose monitor shrieking warnings of a dangerous drop. Margaret Hensley stood over the scene, a length of rope still clutched in her polished hands, a chilling glint of triumph in her steely eyes. What she didn't know was that federal agents had been watching her every move for months, their cameras capturing this very moment. In precisely 3 minutes, tactical teams would storm her pristine colonial home on Maplewood Lane. She had no clue she'd just picked a fight with the wrong family. Before I unravel how a routine evening walk in our quiet Riverview Heights neighborhood exposed a domestic terrorism network hiding in plain sight, let me share this story for anyone who's ever faced something similar. A quick like helps spread this message to others who need to hear it. Drop a comment below. Where are you reading from? It's incredible how stories like this connect people across the globe. 5 months ago, I thought moving to Riverview Heights, a sleepy suburb in Oregon, would give Lily the stability she craved after years of upheaval. Diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at age 5, Lily's life revolved around constant monitoring blood sugar checks, insulin doses, and sleepless nights spent averting crises. It was exhausting, fraying us both to the breaking point. Then came Rusty, a labradoodle with an uncanny ability to sense blood sugar drops 15 minutes before symptoms hit. His nose could detect chemical shifts I couldn't begin to understand, saving Lily's life 4 times in the first year alone. Once, he woke me at 2 a.m., pawing frantically as Lily's glucose plummeted while she slept, oblivious to the danger. Watching Lily blossom with Rusty by her side was like witnessing a miracle. She trusted her body again, knowing her furry guardian had her back. Their evening walks became sacred, Lily giggling about her art projects, Rusty trotting beside her wheelchair, always alert. I'm not like most parents. My years as a security contractor taught me to scan for threats others miss. I parked my truck facing the street, kept sightlines clear from our windows, and checked my phone more than most would deem normal. Old habits die hard when your kid's life depends on vigilance. Our new home sat on a quiet street lined with cherry blossoms and tidy lawns. The neighbors were polite but distant, except for Mrs. Alvarez next door, who brought us tamales and whispered warnings about Margaret Hensley, the HOA president. That should have been my first clue. Margaret lived in a towering colonial at the street's end, lording over Riverview Heights like a queen. She'd run the HOA for 6 years, wielding rules like weapons under the guise of protecting property values. Whispers revealed her bitterness stemmed from her husband's death, a diabetic complication 4 years prior. She blamed service animals, claiming they enabled weakness instead of fostering self-reliance. Her campaign against them had already driven 3 families out. Mrs. Alvarez admitted Margaret had been fixating on us since we arrived, snapping photos during our walks and probing into our past. I was too focused on helping Lily settle into her new school to see the red flags. The harassment started subtly, weekly notices taped to our door citing nonsense violations, pet disturbances despite Rusty's silence, unleashed animals despite our leash cam footage, demands for medical records federal law didn't require. Each carried a $600 fine, and Margaret's letters grew sharper, demanding vet records and Lily's health history. Her obsession screamed control, not community standards. One humid July evening, she cornered me by the mailboxes while Lily sketched in our yard with Rusty. Her silver bob was flawless, but her hazel eyes were cold as she waved a violation notice. "Mr. Harper, your disregard for our rules is troubling," she said, her voice syrupy with fake concern. "This neighborhood has standards, and your situation is worrying residents who've invested everything here." I kept my cool, though every instinct screamed danger. Rusty's a federally protected service animal, Mrs. Hensley. HOA rules don't override federal law. Her face tightened, rage flickering. Diabetic kids managed fine before these dogs became trendy props for coddling parents. Maybe it's time Lily learned real independence. Her words landed like a slap, dismissing my daughter's life-threatening condition as a flaw to be fixed. I swallowed my anger, knowing arguing would only escalate things. But her fixation photographing our house, timing our walks felt like more than nosy neighbor antics. It felt professional. "Mrs. Alvarez later confirmed Margaret had been digging into our Pass Me job, our old address, why we'd chosen Riverview Heights. My security systems pinged more frequently. Subtle triggers, nothing blatant, but enough to sharpen my senses. Someone was watching us, and Margaret's obsession was no longer just HOA nonsense. The breaking point came on a crisp September evening in 2024. Lily was buzzing about her school's science fair, chattering about her solar system model as Rusty padded beside her wheelchair. The air smelled of rain and pine, and the neighborhood felt deceptively calm. Then Margaret appeared, clutching a clipboard, her face a mask of urgency. "Mr. Harper, thank goodness I caught you. There's been a burglary on Cedar Lane last night. We're holding an emergency HOA meeting at my house to discuss security. It's urgent." Her story felt rehearsed, but Lily's eyes widened with fear. "Dad, can we check our house?" she whispered. Rusty pressed closer, sensing her stress. Margaret's gaze gleamed with satisfaction. "It's adults only, for security reasons. Leave Lily in your yard for 10 minutes. She'll be fine." Every instinct screamed to stay, but Lily was already wheeling toward home, anxious to feel safe. 10 minutes, I said, discreetly activating our property's cameras. Lily settled under the sycamore with Rusty, their usual spot. I should have trusted my gut. Margaret's meeting was a sham. Her living room was empty, no neighbors, just a tirade about property values and service dogs. My phone erupted with alerts, not routine pings, but urgent warnings. Live feeds showed Margaret's house empty except for us. Someone else was at my house, near Lily. I bolted, her hand grabbing my arm with surprising strength. "We're not done, Mr. Harper." Her voice was ice. I tore free, sprinting home as my phone painted a horrifying picture. Margaret, not at her house, but in my yard, rope in hand, approaching Lily and Rusty. I reached our yard to find Lily sobbing, frozen in her wheelchair, begging Margaret to stop. Rusty lay motionless, blood pooling beneath him, the rope tight around his neck. Margaret stood triumphant, spitting venom. Kids survived without these mutts. It's time she learned strength. Lily's glucose monitor screamed, her blood sugar crashing from the trauma. I dropped beside her, shoving glucose gel into her trembling hands, whispering, "We've got this, sweetheart." But I was already dialing a number few know exists: Homeland Security's emergency line. Code Silver. Family compromised. Immediate response. Authorization Gamma 922 Bravo. I wasn't just a dad. I was Agent Ethan Harper, embedded in Riverview Heights to monitor a domestic terrorism cell, using the suburb as a front. Margaret wasn't just HOA president, she was our prime suspect. Her meetings, cover for extremist planning. Her attack on Lily and Rusty, caught on our cameras, was a direct assault on a federal family. As I stabilized Lily's glucose, tactical vehicles roared in, black SUVs surrounding Margaret's house. Her smirk faded as she heard the engines, saw the Homeland Security insignias. "What did you do?" she stammered, panic rising. I flashed my badge, the gold glinting. "Agent Ethan Harper, Homeland Security. You're under arrest for assault on a federal dependent and terrorism conspiracy." Agents swarmed, cuffing Margaret as her world crumbled. Neighbors gaped as her mansion was raided, revealing weapons, bomb materials, and plans targeting federal buildings. Her HOA tyranny masked a network plotting attacks across states. Lily's testimony, delivered via video, broke hearts. "Rusty saved me when my sugar crashed." Why did she hate us? Margaret got 22 years, 17 for terrorism, 5 for cruelty and endangerment. Her cell collapsed, with 6 more arrests nationwide. Riverview Heights transformed. The HOA dissolved, replaced by a community group fostering support. Donations flooded in for Lily's new dog, Bella, a golden retriever whose sensitivity surpassed Rusty's. Lily, now 12, thrived with Bella, her confidence returning. 2 years later, Margaret's prison letter arrived, expressing remorse and describing her work training service dogs behind bars. Lily forgave her, inviting her to learn about diabetes dogs, showing grace beyond her years. The Willow Memorial Training Center opened in 2027, with Lily cutting the ribbon. Our story reshaped federal training, exposing how extremism hides in plain sight. What do you think? Can someone like Margaret truly change? Should Lily have forgiven her? Was her sentence too harsh or too light? Share your thoughts, like, and subscribe for more stories that uncover the truth.